And it's totally fine. I didn't turn the stream off and turn it back on again because I accidentally didn't change the title and it still said Goatman. That didn't happen at all. What are you saying? Alright. Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. Starting a little bit later than I normally would, and by a little bit I mean 2 hours. Usually this is the time I am finished, but I had D&D today, and it finished not all that long ago, and I was originally gonna just record it, but today is one of the biggies in cryptid history, the Mothman. And it's like, what, am I going to not stream the Mothman? I mean, who doesn't stream the Mothman, really? Verb! Verb is chanting Mothman. Let me see if I can find a good picture of Mothman's booty. We need to have Mothman's booty to keep us company. Mothman butt. Yeah! Yeah. Let's find a good picture of that booty. For some reason, there's one that's just a... Oh, it is! It's from BuzzFeed Unsolved, and you know what? We're gonna use this image. So we get Shane's friendly comment about, see this guy's ass, by the way. Just right here, keeping us company the whole time. We'll tuck it right here for safekeeping. Pat, pat, pat. Hey, Dezaren! It's going good! I will zoom in on the booty while I read to you guys about the Mothman. Please, enjoy this tuchus. This shiny metal buns. God, somebody, like, really gave him a butt, didn't they? Alright. So, once again, from West Virginia, there's so many cryptids in the Virginia area. Like, I don't know if, like, a hellmouth opened there and just shot them all into existence, but there's so many. In West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 15th of 1966 to December 15th, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated November 16th, 1966, titled, "Couple See Man-Sized Bird, ... Creature, ... something." That's a wonderful title. The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. The Mothman was introduced to a wider audience by Gray Barker in 1970 and was later popularized by John Keel in his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, claiming that there were supernatural events related to the sightings and a connection to the collapse of the Silver Bridge. The book was later adapted into a 2002 film starring Richard Gere, which I have seen. There is also an annual festival in Point Pleasant devoted to the Mothman legend. Now, for the history. On November 15th of 1966, two young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Maletti? Looks like Maletti, told police that they saw a large gray creature whose eyes, quote, glowed red when the car's headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings. Following their car when they were driving in an area outside of town known as the TNT area, the site of a former World War II munitions plant. During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. Two volunteer firemen who saw it said it was a, quote, large bird with red eyes. Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heron termed the shit poke. Or the shite poke. The shite poke. I heard it was a sandhill crane. But okay. Contractor Newell Partridge told Johnson that when he aimed a flashlight at a creature in a nearby field, its eyes glowed, quote, like bicycle reflectors. Additionally, he blamed buzzing noises from his television set and the disappearance of his German Shepherd dog on the creature. Why do they always go after people's dogs? Wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith at the West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane. Yeah, there we go. A large American crane almost as tall as a man with a 7-foot wingspan featuring circles of reddish coloring around the eyes. The bird may have wandered out of its migrational route and therefore was unrecognized at first because it was not native to the region. Let's see. And the rest of this is that maybe its name came from the Batman comics. Let's see. The other infamous event was following the December 15th, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people. The incident gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. And that appears to be it. Oh, one more. 2016, WCHS-TV, which is a television station in Charleston, West Virginia, published a photo purported to be of Mothman taken by an anonymous man driving on Route 2 in Mason County. And I think I've got that picture. A science writer proposed that the photo showed a, quote, a bird, perhaps an owl, carrying a frog or snake away, and wrote, "There is zero reason to suspect it is the Mothman described in legend. There are far more reasonable explanations." Okay. Oh, a new person has showed up. I'm sorry, I was reading the Wikipedia article when you popped in. Their name is Ponyo D. Gremlin. Said, just asking out of curiosity, are you a shaman or necromancer or something? I didn't have a specific thing in mind when I created this Halloween costume avatar. I guess it's supposed to be, like, a little witchy? Like this ethereal, supernatural something. I didn't pick something specific. I have a more specific idea for the one I'm gonna do later, but that will be when I know more about adding more animation to these things. Anyway. So now we can leave the booty down here. That is the Mothman's butt. That is the butt of the Mothman statue. I had it there while we were looking, while I was reading the article. Ah, yes, this is the infamous photo. So this is the infamous photo up here of the Mothman that was taken in 2016. These two right here are, I think probably some of the best best versions of the Mothman. These are from Fallout 76. The regular Mothman and the magical psychic Mothman, respectively. These are the Mothman statue, which is where that butt came from. And this is a sandhill crane. The thing that it probably actually is. I will now draw the Mothman, because that is why we are here. I'm just looking at your comment. Why are we looking at a silver butt crack? Because that's the Mothman booty. Somebody made this statue of the Mothman and went, you know what he needs? An ass. He needs the thickest, most bodacious of booties. A crane with mange. You know what? It could be. Could be. I'm actually surprised the article didn't mention the UFO stuff, because I think I said last time that there's, like, weird... Like, a dude showed up and was like, it's totally a UFO, and I know because it talked to me. And it looked absolutely nothing like the creature that you guys described. It was actually a big tall man in a silver suit named Indrid Cold, and he's the Mothman. So, that's probably why that's not in the article, because that's even more far-fetched and wacky. So the statue shows him as having, like, a beak. Just there and just went, At least it's not the mouth man. This is true. It could have had a massive maw. So it looks like I'm going to be giving him big eyes regardless, which means that the cuter version of this that I will be drawing later is going to have even bigger eyes. It's going to be maybe 80% eye. I love that in the game they have its little proboscis hanging out to, like, look kind of like a beak. Which is worth one giant mouth or lots of mouths all over the body. Ooh. You know what? I think the second one. Because with the first one, maybe I could find, like, a way to like, disable the mouth somehow. But if there's mouths everywhere on it, you can't avoid them. Ferb says, Mothman is just Yogg Saron. That sounds like a Lovecraft monster. Should I give him a big long crane beak? Kinda wanna give him a long crane beak. A WoW Hearthstone player, I see. Oh, yes! He's the... Yeah, I remember him now. He was who we thought was going to be a world boss before I ended up quitting WoW. We were all like, ooh, maybe we're going to go and beat up an old god, just like... You know, just like we did in like, the last one. Maybe we'll get to fight one of the big dangerous guys. And they're like, nah. You're just doing Wrath of the Lich King Part 2, and then we'll disappoint you. Goodbye. And it's like, oh, well. And then I left the game. It just wasn't fun anymore. The raids were getting a little ridiculous. The amount of stuff you had to do to prep for it was like, oh my lord. Somehow getting crazier and crazier. The grinding was terrible. So... Yeah. And Ferb just said, I have too many problems with the company to continue giving them money. And yeah, I feel kind of weird about giving them money also. You know, why don't I have a picture of a moth in here for reference? Like, why didn't I get a picture of a moth? Moth. Good lord, why did I not just... a moth? A moth. A close-up of a moth. Boosh. Moth. We now have a moth. And a face of a moth. So we can all look at that and be potentially uncomfortable if you don't like bugs. There we go. And Photoshop has now gotten mad at me. Hello? It's just a moth they will eat close. Yeah. Now my pen's not responding. This is not a good night. Snap this. If it's not one thing, it's everything, you know? I know! It's really cute, I think. It's so floofy and fuzzy. What a cute little boy. He's just a little friend who might eat your sweater. He is friend-shaped. So we're gonna mash a bird, a moth, and a guy together to make the Mothman. It's funny that he gets named the Mothman because every single time anybody described him before, they were like, oh, he looks like a bird. And so it's like, oh, okay, bird. And they're like, but he's a Mothman. And you're like, oh, wait, which is it? Is it moth or bird? The answer is neither. He is man. Now, do we give him arms? Or do we just give him wings? I think, like, he needs arms, because he's not really a man if he doesn't have arms, huh? Because all these other things have feet. But not arms. He needs arms. It's like the goat man. He needs arms and a man torso, and that's how you know. And then the rest of him can just be an animal. It's funny when most people draw him in like a cutesy little style. He just is sort of a sphere with eyes. There's a game. Darren says there's a game. I can't remember the name of it, but you have to manage a village that exists on top of a giant creature, and she always calls the huge hulking creature, quote, just a little guy. Oh, that sounds cute! I mean, compared to an adult version of whatever that creature is, maybe it is just a little guy. Let's bring that head down more. Give him a big ol' hunch. Big old floofy hunch. Yes. Scoot that head over. Mothman drawing makes it look like he's just a shy guy. Yeah, he's just a shy dude. He was just chilling. He was just chilling out in an abandoned TNT factory, and then a bunch of teens came out there to get high, and he was like, can you guys go away and leave me alone? And they were like, oh my god, a Mothman. And then they drove away screaming, and he followed them going, no, you can't drive while you're drunk or high. Please, slow down. And they zoomed out of there doing speeds of up to 50! He needs a second pair of hands also. Like moth. Little moth hands. A Mothman that looks more like a bird, but we're calling it Mothman. Yup. They're like, oh my god, an owl. Mothman sounds cool though. It's like, alright, sure. What do moth feet look like? Owlman is copyrighted, we can't call it that. Yeah, maybe. Moth foot. What do foot of moth look like? Show to me. Cool. Oh. Well, I found a big zoomed in image of a moth, so we can see its little number feet. But then I also found a high power microscope photo of the foot. And for that I apologize, because you're all about to see it. It's made of hooks and little flaps. Mothman is too socially anxious to correct people about his name. Yes. It's like, oh, well, I'm more like, I mean, I'm also kind of more like a birdman, but stop it. I'm more like a birdman, I guess? A moth birdman, but I mean, I guess you can call me that, though. It's fine. Burbman. Got little hooky feeties. They look like little triangle noobs. He's got like dainty sleeves. Owlman, I will never forget that combination of fatalist and nihilist. Oh no. Oh, from shit. What is that? Watchmen. That's what it was. Is it bad I've never watched Watchmen? Little fuzzy abdomen. Little fuzzy butt. Not quite. He was an alt-Earth Batman voiced by James Woods in an animated film. Oh, that... Okay, yeah. I remember that one now. I thought of, like, Watchmen, because I think Watchmen's got Owlman in it too, doesn't it? Or maybe he's called something else. I'm pretty sure there is a man with owl motif. Big old moth wings. Big old moth wings. So these go under. So that go over. And they go under, like so. I get it. I see. You know, I like that they say he's got a 10-foot wingspan, but when you look at this statue of him, it doesn't appear to have a 10-foot wingspan. I mean, if you stacked the two wings on top of each other, height-wise, maybe 10 feet, but... I don't know, I feel like you could lay a human being across that, and part of them would dangle off. And humans aren't 10 feet, so... I don't know, maybe I'm talking out my butt. Hide that for now. Well, except for the moth wings, actually. I kind of want to keep those for reference. Let's see. Owlman's huge plan was he made a bomb to blow a universe, the prime universe, blow up, I assume, a universe, the prime universe, the original one that all alt universe sprung from, because in his mind that was the only thing he could do of any importance and the only thing that could ever matter. There is your thought for the day. I'm guessing that this prime universe is ours. The universe where everything is kind of normal and nobody has superpowers, so all the other ones spring from us and our imaginations. Let's hide some of these extra things. Well, I want to keep that. And I want to keep this one and this one, but we can hide the rest. Let's rearrange these moths. Go over here. And you can go here. Actually, you can go above this one. And you can go right there. Alright. Back to Moth. Back to Mothman. Mr. Man of Moth. Are you ready, good sir? I'm gonna spread these little abdominal bits out more to make it like a tail. Like a bird tail. Yes. Perfect. Wonderful. That is a good basic structure of Moth. Oh, Aaron has more to say about the Owlman. Well, it goes into weird quantum physics, but they go with the concept of every time a choice is made, boom, a new alternate universe, the other choice was made. So in Owlman's mind, nothing matters because your choice happened somewhere else. I mean, that can happen too. I mean, there's also a train of thought, which is probably a bit closer to how the universe actually works, if you think about it, is that there's no such thing as free will in a sense that everything has a cause, that itself has a cause, and so on and so forth, all the way back to the Big Bang. So that if you understood how events unfold, you could easily predict without fail and everything that will ever happen, because people can only make the choices that they are going to make. You know, like, let's say, it's like, oh, if you find a wallet on the ground, you give it back to the person who dropped it. Why do you give it back to the person who dropped it? Because you were taught by your parents to return wallets to people. Or because your parents let you watch Sesame Street when you got home from school, and Sesame Street taught you how to do that. And because that's become part of your personality, you wouldn't do anything else. You wouldn't suddenly put it in your pocket. I mean, you could, there's nothing stopping you, but because that's just not how your personality works, because of all the factors that formed who you were, you weren't going to do anything else. Head empty, only squishmallows, yeah. I mean, it's a thought that can feel disconcerting, because it makes it seem like nothing you do matters, but I mean, it does. Even if everything was just a big math equation, you're still part of that math equation, and it wouldn't be the same equation without you, so. I like the thought experiment, yeah. I mean, even if at the end of the day, you can only do what you would do because of who you are, I mean, is that really any different from how you were living your life anyway? I mean, nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, today I shall do something completely out of character for me and be totally fine with that. Like, I've never done crime before in my life, but I think, apropos of nothing, I shall do crime today, and that would be really weird. Zara just went, I mean... That might be a midlife crisis. I mean, that's true, but then you have to think about it. So all these factors in this person's life have led to a midlife crisis. And so the only thing they could do as a response to this midlife crisis is do something they've never done before. DC has never done crime, are you sure? I'm pretty sure I admitted to shoplifting as a child on here before. I mean, as an adult, I have not done a crime, as far as I know. Purposefully try and be different. Yeah, but that in and of itself is also a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the thing that led you to go, oh yeah, well, I'll do something different, are all factors that could only be you. You can't escape from it. Sarah just shouted, oh god, my brain. Yeah. It's really trippy, isn't it? But I mean, it's kind of like, it's sort of like the end of, what was that movie? Inception. It's kind of like the end of the movie Inception, where it's like, does it really matter if the top fell over or not? If the guy's happy? Because, I mean, reality is just what you make of it, so maybe the point at the end of that movie is that it doesn't matter if the top actually fell over, because he made his choice when he saw his kids. That no matter what, this is reality. And then, of course, they give us the wobble to indicate that, like, yes. This is reality, and he's out. And he got what he wanted, but... My dad had such an argument with me after that movie! Because he's like, it had to, the top had to fall. It had to fall, didn't it? Yeah, it must have fallen. Because, why wouldn't it have? And I'm like, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? And he's like, no, it would have had to fall. I'm like, well, you didn't see it fall. In reality, it's only the info your brain tells you. I mean, you've got no proof that any of this is really real. I mean, if you think about it, if we want to be pedantic. I think I was just mostly flabbergasted for how, mad he was about that. Desaren says, it's kind of funny. I get the deja vu feeling pretty often, and I purposefully feel the need to not do what I, quote, know is supposed to happen, whether just to feel less creeped out or to feel I have some control and choice. That's a fine way to react to that. I'm trying to remember what scientists say about deja vu, or the feeling of deja vu. Because it doesn't necessarily mean you did in fact do the exact thing that you know you haven't done before. It could easily be that it's just really familiar, or it's just working out the way that you thought it was going to. And so your brain equates it with false familiarity. I don't know, something like that. Now I'm just talking out my butt. Deja vu, from what I understand, is one side of your brain processing something just a tad faster than the other side of your brain, says Ferb. That could also be true. I need to, look that up again, because I haven't in a while. And Zarin adds on, that if she doesn't do the exact opposite, she's just like, will it happen? Is it happening? Next, this person should walk by and say this. Oh, so it starts to freak you out. You're like, oh, please don't do that. I must now do the opposite just so that the cycle does not continue. I can understand that. Break yourself out of the weird feeling. It's kind of like that weird thing that happens when you walk through a door and you're like, how the hell? What was I doing? I actually know why that happens, by the way, the walking through a door and going, what? Desarn says, I wonder if this is how a psychic would feel. No, I understand, and I don't think you're saying you're psychic. But I understand feeling freaked out and going, man, I wonder, like, if psychics were real, is this what it would feel like? Just walking along and suddenly going, and I know exactly what is going to happen now. And it's weird. But the whole walking through a door and going, and now I don't remember why I'm here, has to do with how your brain processes, and I'm going to put in quotes, scenes. Like, for example, when you close your eyes and you go to sleep, that's the end of a scene. And your brain starts moving stuff from your short-term memory into long-term memory. Which is why sometimes you dream a bunch about, like, what happens to you during the day. But your brain also sees something like a doorway as the end of a scene. Because all of a sudden your surroundings have changed. You know, like the interior of your living room is not the same as that of your kitchen, or your bathroom is not the same. So if you aren't thinking about the task at hand, sometimes when you walk through doorways, your brain's like, oh, shit, I should move all of that stuff into storage. We've gone ahead to another cut point in our day. And so it just takes everything that you were sort of thinking, you know, not really thinking too hard about, and chucks it into long-term memory. And obviously the reason you came out into the kitchen, which was probably to, like, I don't know, grab water or check the calendar or something, was not important enough to go into long-term memory, so it just went and was gone. And then you stand there going, and now I don't know why I came out here. Shit. Oh no, why did I come out into the kitchen? Spooky. I hate when that happens too, though. I'll just walk out and I'll stop and I'll go, shit. If I go back in the other room, will I remember? No. I will not. God damn it. There's a really sad lo-fi song going on in the background now. Oh my gosh. It's a very sad lady shouting about love. Holy Tolito, lady. That actually does work for me, says Disaren. Sometimes as I walk away, I'm like, oh, right, cookies! Oh, that might help because, like, I don't know, if it sets off a memory point from the previous room where it's like, oh, as I left here, I was thinking about going to get cookies. That's why I went in the kitchen! I have walked into the kitchen with 2 things to do on my mind and only remembered one of them. And then not remembered the other thing until I'm all the way back upstairs, and I sit down and I go, now I wonder where I put my... That was downstairs. That's what I was going to do. And I didn't do it, and I came back up here. The moth on the hand is so fuzzy. I know! He looks so soft. I want to pet him. If my camera were on, you guys would see all of the Mothman plushies that I have. I have 2 Mothman plushies sitting on my desk. A big one, and one that is perfectly round. And, I have another moth over on my bed. It's a white floofy moth from Squishable. It's shaped like a bean. And very fluff. And I love it. It's a little snow moth. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, there we go. Some nice feather frond bits. You know, maybe these eyes need to be bigger. I feel like maybe his eyes need to be bigger. I think they're too small. Bro needs bigger eyes. For plushies, the biggest one I got is a Digimon. Oh, that's cool. I have a giant seal plushie that is perfectly spherical, and it's got a little beanbag on its tummy so that no matter how hard you toss it, it will always land on its tummy. It cannot land upside down is what the little tags say. I don't know if that's true, but I know that's what it says, and I know that every time I've tossed it, it does indeed land back on its tummy. So, they must have been somewhat correct. Alright, this eye is bugging me. I must fix its shape. That's better. Fix it. Doop doop. Hey, Greed! King Greed is here. Yeah, it's the Mothman. Half man, half bird, half moth. All sandhill crane. Trying to remember why specifically they thought that Mothman was the reason that the bridge had collapsed. And I think ultimately what it came down to was people going, I had a nightmare. And in it, something bad happened. At least that's what happens in the movie. Desaren shouted, "This isn't Batman." Sorry, I heard Killer Moth and that's a Batman villain too. And King Greed has winked back at Desaren. That is funny. Actually, that's in the description on the Wikipedia page of Mothman. It's just a little blurb of like, the Batman comics were really popular at the time, and even though the Killer Moth character never made it into the TV show, since the comics were popular, people think that that's why they named him Mothman, even though the original description doesn't sound like a moth at all. Big floofy collar. Gotta give him the big floof. Gotta give him the big floof. Oh my god, the tiny version of him is going to be so fat. He did have one animate appearance, but it was not the same Killer Moth. Aw, that's too bad. Gonna make the chibi moth so fat, guys. He's gonna be so fat and fluffy, it's gonna be great. He will be round. The comic book one is very different because he's a complete psycho killer. Oh, that reminds me a bit of from the animated series. I don't know if this one was ever in the comics, but Firefly. Oh, King Greed says that I think that he's implying that Killer Moth was in Teen Titans. Is that who he said? Because he just said, you mean Teen Titans. So maybe he was in... No, maybe he was in Teen Titans. I don't remember. Firefly was made and animated first, I think, and then they kept him. Desaren's gonna Google it to make sure. Yes, please find out. I can Google a lot of things, like tiny moth feet, but I can't Google that. I can't Google everything, or people will just be staring at a blank page. Just like when, Name. Scroll up and look. Just like when Ponyo popped in and said, why butt? I said, 'cause Mothman butt, of course. We need Mothman's booty to keep us company. It is an important homage. King Greed has confirmed that yes, the Killer Moth was also in Teen Titans. Oh gosh, it's been so long since I watched Teen Titans, I couldn't remember if he'd been in it or not. We have the little fan floof on the toes. It's like a little cute wrist thing. Makes it look like he's got elegant little gloves. Then he has small hook. Small hook feet. Kind of like spiders, actually. Spiders have little fuzzy paws with hook feet. It's how they climb around on their webs. They just hook it over the little silken string and toddle along. Being all weird and mostly blind despite having 8 eyes. Oh, Desaren checked? Nope. Firefly was indeed in the comics first. He was in the comics in 1952. Okay. There's so many Batman comics, I wouldn't even know where to start. The only comic series that I have ever read from comic 1 was Spider-Man. And that is because I found a giant comic anthology book in the library and just rented it continuously. I spent whole summers just reading that comic book over and over and over. The killer moth was essentially a joke from the early 2000s animated series, quote, The Batman. Ah, yes, I remember The Batman, where they brought back everything, including Crazy Quilt, which was indeed a quilt villain. And King Clock, a clock-based villain. Because there was a time period in the Silver Age of comics when plots got weird. And sometimes plots were just whatever crazy crap. Oh, I'm The Brave and the Bold? I am thinking The Brave and the Bold, you're right. The Batman was the one that I didn't like. Because they just sort of shooed Alfred away. And I felt like it spent an awful lot of time doing the whole, oh, Batman got a new assistant to help him fight crime. But it turns out that he's just the big smart man who knows all the things, and she's just sort of sitting back there going, oh, I get it. I was completely wrong about this, and you are a smart guy. And I was like, Like, Batman's a smart guy, but I shouldn't be sitting there every minute going, man, I don't... Ferb says, how dare they do that to Alfred? He's the man behind everything. Yeah. In, like, the first couple episodes, like the pilot episodes, if I remember correctly, again, someone correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a few years, and I watched, like, the first 4 episodes and went, oh, no, what's this? Alfred gets hurt in, like, I want to say an explosion. I want to say something explodes and he gets hurt, but he gets hurt fairly badly, and he's like, oh, Master Bruce, I can't do this anymore, but I will stay here, you know, in the mansion and stuff, but I can't help Batman anymore. So here's this girl, this badass cool fight girl from, like, British Special Forces, except she's not British, I don't think. I don't remember that. She's like, she's from, like, Special Secret International Super Forces that I was with once upon a time. So she will now be your new Alfred. Except she doesn't really know how to do any of the things he wants her to do. Or something. Oh, it looks like King Greed has linked it. I think he's linked it. I'm gonna have to mute it because I don't want it to play, but I want to check and make sure it's the one I'm thinking of. Oh no, that's Adult Swim. That's a Robot Chicken. I can't look at that one right now, but I'll look at it later. He's got cute little ponder hand. Cute little moth ponder hand. It's like, oh man. I wonder if I left the oven on. I hope I didn't leave the oven on, says the Mothman. I don't want to burn things. The Batman had Alfred being very fatherly and helpful. I can say that for sure. Okay, maybe it's not the Batman I'm thinking of. There's been so many Batman shows. Which one am I fucking thinking of? Oh, it's gonna bother me now. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm going to Google. I'm gonna find it. Batman cartoon. Nope. Now I'm thinking of... That's not right. Maybe his female sidekick would be better, because I can't remember her name. When I remember it, I will know. What? I type in Batman cartoon female sidekick, and the first thing I get is just Harley Quinn in giant letters. But thank you. I don't want the animated series. Oh no, it's gonna drive me... absolutely drive me crazy. Is this it? Is it Bluebird? Nope. Bluebird is different. Well, this is gonna bug the crap out of me. I'll figure it out later. Oh, Beware the Batman! Yes! It's Beware the Batman. Oh my god. Because it had that Beware the Bat thing in the intro. Beware the Batman. Yes, her name was Katana! Because of course it was. We can't have a vaguely Asian-looking female character and not name her Katana. Oh, and it was CG! And no one had a forehead. Oh, that's right. I didn't like that. I was like, why does no one have... But I thought Katana was the one with the cursed sword, not this lady. Because she doesn't have a cursed sword. I know that there's Katana the heroine, but she's got like a mask and a cursed sword, and this girl's just like, I am a secret agent, and my codename is Katana. Is she supposed to be that Katana? Maybe. Is she supposed to be? Let's find out. Because if not, then this is just, we have no... Is she the Batman? Is she the Katana? An orphaned sword-wielding martial arts master combatant who will... Due to Alfred Pennyworth's recuperation... Oh, he's her godfather. Okay, so Alfred is her godfather. Her name is Tatsu Yamashiro, and she used to work for the CIA. She joined the League of Assassins and was therefore known as Katana. So is she the same... Is she the same person? So let's look up DC Comics. Her real name. So if that real name is not Tatsu. It is! Wait a minute, what? It is her. Is she supposed to actually be related to him? What? Madness? I know, we have deviated so far from Mothman, I must resume Mothman. What? So that's Katana, but no magic sword. And it is her, because that's the same name, the same real name. So that is Katana, but in Beware the Batman, she doesn't have a magic sword, she doesn't wear her cool mask, and Alfred Pennyworth is her godfather, and she also used to work for the CIA, which maybe is part of the comics. I mean, it could be younger Katana? But, like, that's deviated so far from everything I know about that character. Oh my god, you guys, I'm having a crisis! We are having a crisis. I'll link both of their things. So here's the DC Comics Katana. I'll put that in our chat and you can have a lookie if you want. And Beware the Batman Katana. Is this one right here. There. Wow. Man, that stinks that they're the same character, because to be completely honest, I thought she was super boring in that show. Like I said, it just seemed like every few minutes they were like, oh, she's not very good at things. Batman has to teach her how to do this stuff, even though she is, you know, CIA. And should know how to do these things. They seem to flip-flop between, like, oh, she doesn't know how to do the fighting portion of the crime, and the, aha, she only knows how to do the fighting portion of the crime, and so doesn't know how to track things, or make tea like a butler should do, and like, well, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Maybe other people liked that show, and it's totally okay if you did. I just kind of talked shit about it for a while there. But, here's the Batman anime series I was talking about. This image should clear this up completely, says Darren. Let's have a look. Oh, that's the one that had the Joker that looked really dumb, I thought. I remember that one now. I didn't like that one either. That was also the one where no one had a forehead. Why did nobody have a forehead for a while? What did we have against foreheads? They were like nose, eyes, top of head. Oh, it's okay, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like, oh, if you think the look is good, you're dumb. I don't mean that at all. I didn't like the look. Yeah, I remember that the voice actor they picked for him was pretty funky, though. Nazarin said, yeah, they couldn't top the original Joker, so they just went with a wilder-looking Joker is all. I didn't like I said, I wasn't really a fan of the art style, but, I mean, that doesn't mean anything if somebody did like it. They tried to make all the villains look more monstrous, too. That is also true, and I think that worked for some of them, but I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one, but I kind of always liked that Batman's villains were, you know, like, just dudes. Every once in a while he fought something that was magic, which was cool, but a lot of the time it was just like, no, these are just all guys. And ladies. These are just all, like, a bunch of normal dudes with, like, a neat gimmick, and they're all fighting with, like, their brains, and... like the modern detective thing, I guess. But that might also just be like old school nostalgia or something. It was more in just looks, like Penguin having the pointy teeth look, says Dezarin. Oh, that's... yeah, okay. If it was just visual, then maybe it wasn't as bad as I'm remembering it. Then again, long time ago, so... Oh, excuse me. I just remember watching it and going... huh. And then going back and doing stuff I had to actually be doing, because college. Yeah, they're trying to be dark and edgy, because early 2000s, yeah. Let's see reruns for it. On TV every once in a while. And occasionally a new episode, because it was... was it on the air that long, or was I only seeing new episodes, because I hadn't seen them before? Because I graduated high school in 2005 and started college. Like, right away. So it wasn't that long, really. Okay, Mr. Fluffy Mothman, we need to draw more of you. We've been bouncing around trying to figure out who the fuck Katana was for a long time. I thought the Katana from Beware the Batman was just a weird knockoff. Turns out it's just a weird version of Katana. Who I hope eventually turned into a badass character, because it really didn't seem like she was at the get-go, and I wasn't a fan of that. Because I was like, uh-oh, is this gonna turn into like we have to make this female character we've been told is super good at things be real bad to make the Batman look good? Because that just makes it seem like you don't think he can be cool on his own, and that's silly, because he's Batman. How can Batman not be cool? And if he's got people who are competent working with him, that he's even cooler. Oh, Zarin says, as an addition to them being, like, having darker villains at the start, is that it is funny because it ran for 5 seasons, and at the start of season 3, it dropped all the dark for a campier material. Oh, that's funny. Maybe that was around the time that people started going, being super dark and edgy is like not. Yeah, to quote Batman, I'm the goddamn Batman. Oh, the comic that's from is so weird. That's the one where he, like, locks Robin in the Batcave for a little while, and he has to, like, eat rats. And he's like, now you can survive anything. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I should clarify Ferb. I made Ferb sad. Ferb went, aw, super dark and edgy is my thing. I should clarify. I don't mind dark and edgy. But I do think that there's some times where things are like, look how dark I am. But they don't know that you kind of need to, like, sort of take the piss out of it at that point. Because you can go so far that you end up being silly, but not because you were trying to be. And I think a good example of that is like Warhammer 40k. Because, oh, hello, Roman! A Roman Anasari 2003 is here. No, Ansari. I don't know where the other A came from. Hello, Roman. How are you today, sir and or ma'am and or neither? Or both? How art thou? Gotta do the good, cool, floofy feet mitts. But yeah, that Batman comic was really bizarre. Roman says, I'm fine and I'm a guy. Cool. Welcome, my dude. Oh god, which Batman comic is it where it just goes off the rails? Every issue opens with Batman talking to someone we can't see, and all I remember is that he's got like the hairiest chest in the world for some reason, and he's eating a banana. And he's talking about his first year as Batman. It's not Batman Year 1, that's different, but I don't remember what that one is. I just remember that it's really insane. Batman Odyssey? I think it's Batman Odyssey. Batman Odyssey is so weird. I remember reading parts and going, I feel high. What is going on? Oh, Desaren says, then again, a Joker episode in the first season had Joker getting revenge on 52 people in a pretty horrifying but still ridiculous way. I don't remember that one. But that's good if they manage to like merge the two, because you kind of have to. Like I was saying, I think a thing that does it well is Warhammer 40k, because that sounds like Batman got hit with a de-evolutionary ray by Gorilla Grodd. I mean, that could be, you know what? Maybe that was the big secret at the end of the book. He's just been talking to Gorilla Grodd this whole time going, please let me re-evolve. Batman Odyssey is a trip. I don't remember if it ended. I don't know if it got a proper ending or if it just spiraled off into madness for a while and then stopped. But Warhammer 40k, I think, is a great example of going, like, really dark, but understanding that the darker you go, the more ridiculous it becomes, and then just, like, leaning into it. Because, like, Warhammer, everything is so awful that it just, like, doubles back and becomes completely ridiculous, but they know that. So they're just like, yes, more ridiculous, more absurd, 1,000 souls, blood for the blood god, every day. Sacrifice 10,000 humans or something. Is it 10,000 or is it 10 million? It's some absurd number. 10,000 souls. Every single day. For the Emperor, says King Greed. Exactly. Whereas, at least in early, I think it may have changed, because Mike still plays Overwatch, so he knows more about it than I do, but a bad example of like, look how dark and edgy I am, but oops, I have not realized that I've gone too far, and now I'm silly, but not because I'm supposed to be. Oh, Roman says, and there are weird villains like White Rabbit and like White Rabbit, The Dark Knight Volume 2, which is basically stolen from Marvel's White Rabbit, lol. Oh, all fun times when, yeah, every once in a while a comic company is like, I'm gonna nick that. I'm gonna just nick that from my competitor. And hopefully do it good. Or not. But in the original Overwatch, when it first came out, I thought that, Reaper was ridiculous. Because he was super dark and edgy, but he was played straight. He wasn't played like, oh, it's kind of silly that he's this dark and edgy in this game with its, you know, silly cast of characters. It was, like, totally straight. And his joke outfit wasn't even really that goofy. It was just like, look, we gave him a Dia de los Muertos outfit. Huzzah. But like the entire time I'm like, man, you can't be walking around being like, I am darkness and despair and death incarnate when you're fighting a monkey. Monkey, gorilla man from moon, he likes the peanut butter. But I am Reaper. I was like, I can't take him seriously. That's why I was fully on board with people who were like, can we have like a pastel Hello Kitty maid outfit for Reaper, and I'm like, oh my god, if you do that, I will play that game immediately. I will do it professionally if you let me have that outfit, please. They didn't, and they won't, but oh well. Do it, you coward. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to track the conversations so I can share them. Roman says, the DC White Rabbit is hot. Well, I mean, you know, if you're gonna steal something from somebody and you're not entirely sure if it'll be separate enough, just, you know, crank up the hotness. But if we make it sexier, maybe nobody will notice that I nicked that from someone else. I think this is the plan that you mentioned from before. The plan that Joker had to get revenge. It says his plan is that he had a device that froze a person in a big, maybe concrete playing card, face sticking out the front. He was going to make a full deck of everyone that had slightly wronged him, and then kick them all 52 pickup style into Gotham Bay where they'd just sink to the bottom. Oh my god. That is funny and dark. And Roman asks, do you like, quote, ridiculous ideas and concepts? I do. I think that if you execute it correctly, a ridiculous concept can become fantastic. But part of it is that you have to like keep the awareness that what you're doing is ridiculous and just play it the right amount of straight. But like not so much. Like people shouldn't be laughing at it when you didn't want them to be laughing at it, if that makes sense. At least that's my opinion. Roman says, I have many ideas, but I need more. And King Greed has added that he cannot wait for Gotham Knights because he wants to play as Red Hood. Oh, Red Hood is fun. Now the question is, which Red Hood is it? Is it the Red Hood, a la used to be Red Hood but is now the Joker? Or is it Jason Todd Red Hood? Roman says, I can tell you a ridiculous idea if you want. Sure thing! By all means, go for it. Desaren says that she remembers that plan because there's a sign. He's on a big stage in an abandoned theater and all the soon-to-be victims in seats, and he kicks the one example into the bay through the open wall behind him and says, Go fish! Oh my goodness. Fantastic. A female knight who fights with hand puppets. Oh, that's cool. That's funny. Now, do the hand puppets have weapons? Or does she just beat people with them? Is my question. It sounds very anime, Desaren. It does, but it sounds like it could be fun anime. Most of them have weapons, yes. That's great. Actually, that reminds me a little bit of one of the projects I did back in college where they gave us prompts. We had to do a fight scene. Oh, you write manga, Roman. That's great. Feel free to share some of your art if you've got it. But it reminds me a little bit of one of the projects I got in college. It was in one of my illustration classes. My professor handed out a bunch of slips of paper with random objects written on them, and I got hand puppets. And she's like, okay, do a fight scene, but these are the weapons. And I drew... Who did I draw? I drew a character of mine, and I was still in my own edgelord phase. So it was my character Envy, who fought with puppets, except that the key thing for them was that their puppets could control people, so the puppet would look like them. So I had them in the foreground having two monster sock puppets fight each other, and in the background were the actual monsters fighting and smashing things. So I thought that one was fun. It is still a piece I really like. Roman says, I have not written it yet, just brainstorming for 2 years and still have everything in mind and drawing some when I feel like it. That's fair. I was that way with Monster before I started writing it. I mean, it's continuously ending up on hiatus because I have so much work to do, but... Oh, here's the hand puppet night. It's a link. Let's look. Ah! Also, like monster hand puppets. I see. Oh, I like the tiny eye hole in her big monster helmet. What do you think is her name like? Like, what do I think a good name for her would be? If I had to take a guess, because I don't see her name written. Bethany. I think her name would be Bethany. Ah, you did want me to just guess. Okay, good, because I did. I want to guess that her name is Bethany. Desarin says, because of puns, Mary Annette. Oh, that's a good one, too. Roman says, ooh, interesting choice. Her name is Thalia... Oh, I'm going to say the last name wrong. Thalia Guignol. I've probably said that last name horribly bad. Guignol. Guignol? I think it says Guignol. I'm going to hope that I've said that correctly. If not, please correct me in the chat and I will fix what I said. I will correct myself. It's time for me to go to bed. Nice stream. Oh, thank you, King Creed. I hope you have a good night. I really have to get these up on YouTube. I mean, the videos are done and uploaded. I've just been so busy that I look at them and I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll put the info on this later and then release them. And then I look back and I have like I've got like 5 videos sitting there looking at me going, are you gonna post me or what? Like, I know, I'm sorry. Forgiveness. They're sitting there judging me. If you've ever seen Friday the 13th, the series, not the movies, you'll know the devil has a bit of a twisted sense of humor, says Aaron. I've actually not seen that. Actually, I didn't know there was a Friday the 13th series. Maybe I should check that out. Is it any good or is it, like, silly? I mean, I could still enjoy it even if it was silly. There's a lot of great movies out there that are, like, really silly, but also horror. It has nothing to do with the movies at all. Oh! What is it about? Oh, it's okay if you enjoy it. I mean, like I've said before, like, even if like, you say the name of it and I go, oh, that's, like, one of the worst things ever made. If you tell me that you like it, I'll be like, oh, that's cool. So it doesn't have to be good for you to enjoy it. Please never feel like you have to be like, oh, well, I mean, I hope that it reaches your absurd criteria. No, no. As long as you like it, it's fine. I mean, there are some shows that I think are objectively poorly made, but... Thalia is one of the 9 muses, Zeus's daughter. She is the muse of comedy and idyllic poetry. Oh, I see. That's cool. So I take it that you've got... Does this mean that you have 9 characters that will fill out your roster? Or is she like your main character and has 9 siblings somewhere? I'm gonna put a big eye on these wings. It's gonna be great. Design says that the Friday the 13th series ran for 3 seasons, and it's about a small group hunting down antiques that have been cursed by the devil and given messed up abilities. That actually sounds kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I want to watch people hunt down cursed antiques. I might have to look that up. That sounds fun and ridiculous. Oh, speaking of fun and ridiculous, and I guess kind of like trippy, like if psychological stuff makes you squick, then maybe not the best. But I watched all of, I think I said this yesterday, but I watched all of Alien 9 the other day, because it's only 4 episodes long. And I forgot how trippy some parts of that show are. But it ends in, like, the worst cliffhanger. The manga goes on to, like, finish it up, but it's like, oh no. Oh, Roman says she is an exception. She has no siblings and is on an antagonist side. Okay. So she's just named after her, but not in, like, a thematic sense. Okay, I see. Alien 9's an older anime. It's from, I want to say, the mid-90s? I don't have it in front of me. I'm not looking at it. But when you, like, see the art style, you'll go, oh, it's from that time period. Same time period as, like, Serial Experiments Lane and all that. Desiree says, also, some antiques are so incredibly specific in what they do to the point of, like, how did you expect anybody to use this often? Oh, no! So instead of it being like a, oh no, they've accidentally done the thing, it's like a, how was anybody supposed to figure out that this was a cursed magical item that did a thing? There's actually a room, oh gosh, what is it called? Oh shoot, there's like a sci-fi semi-horror show that you might like then. I want to say the series is called The Room? But it's basically about, like, a weird hotel room, and there's a bunch of different objects that were in that hotel room when something happened, and now they all have freaky powers. Hey, Hanky! Hanky's here! You made it! Roman says, Guignol is the weird hero of French puppetry. He's based on the German Casper. Oh, I see. Cool. Well, then that's a very apt name for her. Desarin says, in relation to the weird items, I mean, the item always ends up getting used, but when you learn what it does, it's like, wait, what? Oh, passing by on your way to bed, Hanky? I mean, I figured. I was like, uh-oh, it's probably really late where you are. That's okay, but thank you for stopping by and saying hello. You are getting better and better. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I do feel like I'm getting a lot better. Like, knocking these out as quickly as I am. Like, getting the well, not liner, but the pencils done for 2 figures in 2 hours. That's so fast. Sitting down and doing, like, a proper finished illustration takes me, like, 8 hours. But that's because it's, like, super detailed. Sorry, I'm just looking at how the wings work. I should just bring that reference closer to me. Give me your little reference. Thank you. Focused practice, it's the best way to improve, says Hanky. This is true. Roman says, this Casper has created a kind of horror parody genre. Not quite sure. Ah, I see. Let's do the big eyes. He should have big eyes on the wings. Because everybody always talks about, like, oh no, the glowing eyes. What if many glowing eyes, though? Heading to bed, have irresponsible amounts of fun, says Hanky. Thank you, we will! I always do. But never illegal amounts of fun. Can't have that, because that might be bad. Question is, do I want the Mothman to be like a pale white, or do I want him to be black? Roman says, do you want to know more about her? If you'd like to share more about her, sure. I'm always excited to hear about other people's ideas. I have a comic series of my own, actually. I've got it linked below. Like I said, it's ending up constantly on hiatus for stretches of time, but It's called Monster. It's a bit of a horror. It's a horror magical girl comic with some sci-fi stuff. General premise was I wanted to make the monsters that the magical girls fought look like actual monsters. That is what set it off. And then I watched Madoka Magica and I went, this is cool. And that inspired me to do more. Does Aaron has an example of a cursed item. There's a cursed cradle. What it does is it will completely cure a baby of anything, but you have to kill 7 people in water before the anniversary of the Titanic sinking for backstory of antique reasons. How would you figure that out, though? Does it come with an instruction manual? How does it communicate to you that you need to do that? Okay, Roman says, in relation to his character, her ability is that she can transform her hand puppets into fleshy monster beings. She can also control clouds, but she's more focused on the hand puppets. Okay. Desaren says that the guy who sold it to the characters basically told them, sorta. Okay, I see. So it's like we can't think of how else they would have figured it out, so we'll just have the guy tell them. Okay, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it, because genuinely, like you said, when you hear about it, you're like, wait, how? He was kind of selling these things in exchange for immortality and prosperity from the devil. Oh, I see. That actually makes it a little less silly, I think, because then it's like, oh, okay, it's his job to do that. Oh, and then he got a conscience and tried to go back on the deal. Well, that probably didn't end well for him, I can imagine. There we go. Alright. Oh, it did go very badly? I thought so. Alright. Screaming straight to hell. It's like the ending of Drag Me to Hell, but more so. Alright. Alright, big Mothman. We're gonna make a little Mothman now. A little super cute Mothman. Let's do it. Let's do it. Need to make this fainter. So, first things first, as always, big head. Big head. And then we give it big eyes. I mean, sure, there are sick babies in the world, but seriously, how many times would this be used? Yeah. Let me double check. So it's before the anniversary of the Titanic, so basically, the only time you can't use it is like the day of and maybe a couple of days after, before it's like, oh, don't worry, it's before. It's a whole 360 some odd days. Sorry, just getting a drink. Alright. Oh, I think my music stopped. Nope, it's still playing. How long is this playlist? Oh, it's an hour and 43 minutes, so it'll be going for a while. Probably. Yeah, so that'd be my question, is I'd be like, huh, so does it work? Oh? Oh no, it glitched. Why? What did I do? Did I make you mad? Or did the sound just die? What happened? There we go. I just popped it forward. I don't know why it went dead silent. Big eyes, big eyes, big. Big anime eyes. Yes. Yes. I may make them even bigger. I said he would be 80% eye. I will make his head 80% eye. Oh, more information about Roman's character. She has multiple puppets. The monster puppets on the drawing bite and can bite on clouds, so she can monkey climb with them to travel around. Knight puppets with a sword and shield, magician puppets casting spells, a Stone Age man puppet with a giant wooden bat, and rabbit puppets that transform into real bunnies so she can handstand on them to move. I see. Does she not move around on her own without them? Yes, big eye. Yes. Oh, I like this. This looks great. More about the cursed cradle from Zarin. Zarin says the reason it works this way is the cradle was on the Titanic, and a mother tried to hand it onto a lifeboat, and the asshats there said there was not any room and chucked it overboard. Immediately, though, the chains of the lifeboat snapped, dropping the 7 people and killing them, but the baby was safe, the wooden cradle floating in the ocean below. It's a twisted sense of humor and logic. Oh, it is. Roman also says the puppets are her friends. Oh, yes. I was just wondering if the character, from the description of, like, descriptions you wrote of what she uses some of the puppets for, I was wondering if she is unable to move by herself. Like she doesn't walk around on her own. She gets her puppets to move her around for one reason or another. I was wondering if she couldn't. This is why you need to kill 7 people in water before that date to save your baby. Ah. You must recreate in a weird way the circumstances of the saving. She can move around, says Roman. Okay. Little beak, little beak, little beak, 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 beak. Why do I evil laugh about this? It's such a bad evil laugh, too. It sounds so silly. Unlike easy things where you just kill somebody and it gives you money. That seems infinitely easier than, you know, recreate Titanic, but for baby. I mean, I guess it'd be really useful if your baby had a terminal illness, but then again, it's like, you know, how are you going to manage to do all of that? Oh, Roman says, I've recently come up with an ability idea and I think it should work. Alright. That's cool. Oh, the sad lady is back in the song. I should make his little feelies. I should make his little feelies really big, too. I should make them really fat. The episode was called What a Mother Wouldn't Do, if I remember it correctly. I see. I mean, to be fair, a mother would probably go to just about any extreme to save her child. So you know those abilities where somebody can go through somebody's body like it's air? Yeah, kind of like what Shadowcat does in the X-Men, where she makes her body incorporeal to move through stuff. I know she moves through people sometimes. Or My Hero Academia, yeah. Big fuzzy floofies, big fuzzy floofers, yeah. Oh, that looks weird. Have to fix the angle. We must remember we are going for shapes. Going for shapes. There we go. Oh my god. These fluffy fronds are so good. Oh, excuse me. I've heard of the more brutal ways Shadowcat can use her power. Yeah. I can't remember if it's in one of the movies or maybe the TV show, but I know that she, like... At one point, doesn't she put down the Juggernaut by, like, shoving her arm through his head and then solidifying it? And she's, like, devastated for quite some time, because I don't remember if she did kill him, but she's, like, convinced she did. It's something crazy like that. I've written a scenario for Dee Dee using her teleporting powers in a similar way. Where they're gonna go up against a magical girl who's not exactly on the up and up. But her thing is that as long as she is struck once by an attack or weapon, she heals her body and cannot be damaged by it again. And so Dee Dee's conclusion is, well, okay, I'm just gonna teleport your heart to the other side of the room. Have fun with that, asshole. And of course, because this girl's a badass, she drags her body to the other end of the room and does indeed retrieve her heart and put it back. But it buys them amount of time. What if the amount of time... Oh, Roman says, oh, this in relation to the passing through people's bodies, what if the amount of the body that they come into contact with will be influenced? Oh, that would be neat. Like if they walk by and like touch your hand and now your hand just acts on its own. Okay, Big Fluffy. Yes, Big Fluffy. Fluffier. Make it fluffier. No. Okay, I may have misunderstood then. Feel free to explain. Big fluff, big fluff. Oh my god, yes. He's like a flower! Oh my god. Dezern says, also if it makes you feel any better about it not being as easy, the money-making antique is a huge mulcher. Oh my god. You like stick a person in it and money pops out the other end? Oh my god. These things, they're so wacky. I actually think that sounds kind of amazing. The question is if it's handled the right way. People go in, money come out. Oh my god. That is the right level of ridiculous, I think. The money depends on how rich the person... Oh my god! So if they're not crazy wealthy... Oh, that just means you can't go after somebody that no one would miss. Oh, that's evil. I like that, actually. That's a really interesting point. I also just realized that this thing is... I've been drawing on the wrong layer. I've been drawing on the wrong layer, haven't I? Yes, I have. Come, Floofy, you're not supposed to be on that layer. You're supposed to be on this one. I fixed it. It's not a problem. No one will know. A poor person would just give you $1. Oh! I mean... Sometimes we say eat the rich. Maybe we should mulch them. Don't take what I said seriously, please. Roman says, so as an example, if I put my hand into your body, what happens to the amount of your body part where I put my hand into? Where does it go? Is it just disappeared? Oh, so what you mean is that instead of phased into as in, like, our atoms are passing through one another, so the amount of matter is not displaced. You mean like, oh, if I pass my hand through your body, the amount of matter that I have touched with my hand is not phasing through it, it is being displaced by my hand. That sounds pretty brutal. Sounds like you get slapped and, like, part of your arm just goes... It's like, well, that's gone. Hope you didn't need it. Goodness gracious. Alright. Need the fat body. Fat body of Burb. He looks like a little fluffy acorn. What am I doing? I love this. Sorry, I meant it will give you 1 cent. Oh, 1 cent! Oh, that's worse. I mean, really, I guess that's kind of good, because at the end of the day, the homeless don't, you know, or the homeless people, poor people, they don't ask. I'm still on the wrong layer! Oh my god, I fixed it and then I failed immediately. Stay on this layer. Me. Like $1 bills, the denomination. Oh. Oh. So like bills in the denomination of $1 come out of the machine. I understand. Okay. And does it do that for everybody or just people who don't have a lot of money? So somebody with a decent job would spit it. Oh, I understand. All right. So it's like the mass of that person gets turned into money, and depending on how wealthy they were, will determine the denomination of the bill that comes out. I understand now. I see. So as you go up the ladder, the denomination of the bill will go up. I see. Alright. I must now put hands on the tiny boy. Oh, the peg feet I'm making. All minted at the date of the mulcher. Oh my goodness. Unrelated, and I don't know why, but I have the urge to play Dark Souls again, and I don't know why it has struck me, but I'm like, I kind of want to play it. I even dreamed I was playing it last night. That was weird. Mostly because I was like, okay, well, how do I get to this place that I know I'm supposed to be able to get to, but I can't for some weird reason? It's because it was dream logic, that's why. He's so round. This boy is so round! It does set up for a good dark joke at the end, though, says Dezarin, because, well, I think you can guess what happens to the person that was using it. Yeah, I'm guessing they go in the mulcher, and I'm guessing the amount of money that pops out of the mulcher is not a very large amount of money. It'd be really funny if it didn't spit money out for him at all, and just, like, spat out a bunch of leaves or something. Or her. I should not guess. I should not assume the gender of the mulch murderer in the Friday the 13th TV show. This boy is so plump. This boy I've made is so plump. I love it. Give him a fat tail. Give him a fat tail, yes. They went in trying to save their big gym bag of cash, and all that came out was blood, meat, and bones. Oh, so so they didn't even become money. Now the fun question is if you stick the money bag back in there, does the body pop out the other end? To quote the character, he wasn't even worth a cent. Roman says, regarding the previous ability, the user, when he gets punched in his stomach, the arm goes through him, and then the amount of punched body forms into the arm and punches the attacker with the same strength. It is because that the amount formed in the stomach is in the arm itself. Okay, so it's hitting with force comparable to the mass. I see. No, those shouldn't be up that high. They should be lower. They should be lower. Lower and fluffed. Lower and fluffed. I mean, it's the devil. He's not bringing people back. Yeah, I think I get it now, Roman. Okay, so it's a greater intensity of force because you've been hit with not just arm, but also the same amount of force as the mass it has struck. E. Oh my goodness, this tiny fat Mothman is the best. I've succeeded in making him adorable, I think. Oh my goodness. He's so round! He's so round! Big anime eye peeking out from behind. And then up here. Oh. Big eye. I should put little lashes on it. Yes. Little lashes on the cute eye. I have achieved success. Oh my goodness, look at him. Look at our cute Mothman. He have become Moth Baby. When a bullet hits him, the amount of bullet gets formed somewhere else out of his body like a giant stretched pimple, and in the end the bullet goes out of the body and the amount returns to normal. Kind of like a stretched out thing, like rubber. It'd be like shooting a bullet through Jello. It just goes blorp, pops out the other side, and you're like, well, that didn't do anything. Kind of like that, yes. I see. Just trying to get this shape better. I feel like it has to stick out more. Small moth. Small moth. Fix it. There we go. Put the dot there. And there we are. Oh my god, he's the best. Look at him. Basically, every direct attack hits you when you fight against him. Okay. He's rubber and you're glue, and whatever you throw at him bounces back and sticks to you. But more so. More so with pain. Oh, I can't wait to hear Ferb's feedback on this one. They are the authority on cute round things, on spherical children. I should tell you, Ferb, if you're still here. I don't know if Ferb went to go and get something. If you're still here, Ferb, I showed a photo of your very round Furby to my mom, and she thought it was the cutest thing. Alright, let's make sure that this is the same size as the others, so we can ink it. He's going to be the fattest. He's going to be the fattest. Oh my god. Yes. Shrink it down a little bit. I don't want to be too big. Boop. He can grab his opponents and put them into like walls so that they are stuck and the amount is somewhere else on the wall. Oof! That sounds icky. I wonder if they die immediately. If not, that'd suck. That's an awful way to die. Desaren says, for some random things with no context, some of the cursed stuff includes a quill pen, an ugly Cupid statue, a voodoo mask, an antique radio, a scarecrow, and a rare comic book. Oh my god. I think I need to watch this show now just so I can be like, what in the hell does this do? What does this do? So that's the idea I have, says Roman. That's neat. Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea to play around with. I think that could make the narrative very interesting. Be a fun enemy to fight and try to puzzle out how you're supposed to beat them when you can't hit them. Shoot them with a high-powered fire hose and throw them in the sea. Ooh, sorry about that. Just getting a sip. Time to ink the baby. That is not the right layer. This is the right layer. There we go. Turn some smoothing on. Ooh, I never thought about the sea, says Roman. Yeah, I'm curious if he was trying to use his powers and you tossed him in like a pool. Would he like dissipate? Like, oops, lost cohesion. I made it 125 pixels. Oh my goodness. I want it 12. Behave. I actually like thinking up villains or creatures with like really bizarre powers, because I like trying to think about how my heroes will beat them. Sometimes it's difficult because you're like, oh shit, how would I do that? Flip. Oh, did it finish? I think the playlist finished. It did. Boop. We'll do this one now. Spooky, 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 spooky. Oh gosh, and now that I'm remembering this series, there's a pendant called Mesmer's Bauble. Ah. Oh, Roman says if he activated his power while in a pool or in the ocean, his body mass would go up all the time until he was out. Ugh. He would just swell into a big old balloon. Like an Akira. Except that would... Actually, the Akira one would probably be much grosser. The Akira one was just a constantly mutating goo pile that used to be a dude. This music makes me think of Cult of the Lamb. And now I want to go play that. Oh my goodness. Need to go back to my cult and see how all my dudes are doing. Then play the stream one and see if anything different happens if you kill the bosses in a different order. Come on, Curve. Do what I want. Oz and friends. Minister of the Father comes to his... Ah, so it's a mind control bauble. Creepy. I didn't realize that's not at 100%, Nikki. No. Oh, yes, but much worse. Oh, dear. Roman also says, so I guess his actual weakness, I think, is the amount that is out of him. When attacked, he will get damaged. I see. So I guess you have to convince him to use his powers on something large, and then you attack the other pieces of mass, and then you'll hurt him. That's a good idea. So then it's not so much that it's like, oh, he can phase... He's phasing it through so you can't hit him. He's moving this mass somewhere else. So you just have to figure out where it's been moved to, and then you can punch it. And make him hurt. Kinda like that, yeah. I see. That's neat. It's like time to find out where this guy is hiding a goo bag filled with his spleen. And then I can hurt him. Desarin says that item is one of the OP ones as far as I'm concerned. The mind control is just to make your needed sacrifice easy, essentially. What you get for the death is, though, not much, just a wish granted. Oh my god. So you just find a victim, mind control them so they don't go anywhere, and then you sacrifice them, and it's like, you may grant one wish. Oh my lord, that is OP. That's incredibly powerful. That is easily the most powerful item that you have described so far. It's like, oh, nothing. It'll just grant a wish. Oh, I thought that it had something to do with mind control. Oh, it does. It just mind controls the victim so they don't do anything. Now, it may be limited in scope. They did not go into that. The guy just wanted plausible stuff. Okay. Except for one that just went nuts. Ooh.
How are you?
Oh! Hi, Mikey!
Hello.
Mikey's back. I didn't hear it unmute. You just suddenly were here. I know that Sophie's in the call still, but muted, so I didn't know if she was going to rejoin us or not.
Probably not. She's downstairs at the moment.
Okay. Let me show to you. Give me 1 second, everybody. So here is our Mothman, our big man Mothman.
Yeah.
He's part bird, part moth, part man.
Oh, he kind of looks like Zorak. Like the way his arms are crossed reminds me of Zorak.
Oh, yes. And this is our baby Mothman.
Oh my god.
Right? I love him! He's so random foof! He's the best! Oh, Roman says his character can also, as an example, punch into the ground, and the amount that is formed like his arm, so the amount of ground he is displaced, can attack everywhere from the ground. I see. Interesting. Basically just taking control of the mass that has been displaced, or moving the mass so that... Why can't I get this line to do what I wanted to do? There we go. Or moving the mass so you can't hurt him. Interesting. We have a new viewer. His name is Roman.
Hello.
He is telling us about his OCs and their powers.
Nice.
Which is always cool. He's telling us about a guy whose power is that it seems like he can phase through objects, but he's actually moving the mass, and he's displacing it. And he's replacing it with the mass of the object he has struck. So if he, for example, punches into the ground, he displaces the mass of his arm and replaces it with soil, and then can punch from the ground anywhere. Which is interesting.
Like earthbending.
Kinda. But like with everything. And his weakness is that obviously the mass he has displaced must go somewhere, so if you figure out where he's hiding the mass, you can attack the mass. Or as Peter would say, harass the mass.
Kick his mass.
Kick his mass. Also, for all the new people, this is Mike.
Hello.
Mike is a sound designer, and he often joins me on my streams. The ground itself becomes like the arm. Yeah. So it would pop up, an earth-shaped arm would pop up at a earth-shaped... Oh my god, arm-shaped pile of earth would punch up out of the ground. Roman says that sounds nice for your sound design. And Dezarin is telling us about cursed artifacts from the Friday the 13th TV show, which has nothing to do with the Friday the 13th movie franchise. Which included things like a mulching machine that if you put a body in it, it will spit out bills in the denomination denomination of money that is conflagrant with how wealthy that person was. Like, if it's a poor person, it will spit out a bunch of ones. If it's a wealthy person, you could get $100 bills spitting out the other end. There's also some strange ones, like a baby crib that will heal any illness your baby has so long as you sacrifice and drown 7 people before the anniversary of the Titanic while the baby is in the crib. Zaren's also just posted a new one. Like, it was an average guy and he is obsessed with a singer in a negative way. So it's for... Oh, okay, so... Zaren, she's talking about a magic amulet where it can mind control people, but that's not its power. The mind controlling just makes it easier to sacrifice the person. Once you sacrifice them, you get a wish granted. So that's OP as hell. And she says the person who had it was an average guy, and he's obsessed with a singer in a negative way. So his first wishes were just handsomeness and getting closer to the singer, becoming her manager, and then he actually seduces her. But then with his last wish, they were enjoying each other, and he realized he didn't love her, and he didn't actually love her. He wanted to be her, and he just sort of merged with her and became her. It was kind of horrifying. That is horrifying! Like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not in love with you. I just want to be you. Excuse me? Success. Creepy!
Us.
Roman posted a creepy emote.
It's like the movie Us.
It is like the movie Us. Except that they really are taking over your body instead of taking your place. While not as good, I guess, as Get Out, it's still a good movie. And I recommend it. I think that one comments more on, like, commercialism. Like, the idea of, like, society, or capitalism itself, I guess, trying to craft you into the perfect consumer instead of the person that you actually are. At least that's how I interpret that movie. Dezarn says it's a weird show with commercials. It was hour-long episodes, and it's also nice if you appreciate 80s big hair.
I can definitely appreciate big 80s hair.
Roman says you will never guess what character archetype the ability belongs to. Think of any anime, fantasy, isekai character archetype. Let's see. So if it's going to be an unlikely archetype from a fantasy or isekai, I'm going to say... We've been saying he, so I guess it's a guy. Saying it belongs to the main character would be too obvious. So I'm going to say it belongs to a nervous pretty boy. Maybe even a boy lolly kind of character. Where he, like, looks like a small cute boy but isn't necessarily a young boy. He just looks like him.
The time hath come.
The time hath come. We need to finish that. I also still think that sounds so much like the, like the Chosen One from Smosh. Ha! Roman laughed, said, I can see that, but it's wrong. Ah, which archetype does it belong to? You cannot leave us hanging, you must tell us.
A character who's good of heart but dumb of ass.
I do like brave of heart and dumb of ass. It is such a good... It's a really good character type.
It's the most common one, too.
It is. Of course, there's different types of dumb of ass. Like, you can get Goku, who's brave of heart and dumb of ass.
Goku is the
but Goku,
dumb protagonist.
Yeah, but Goku's brave of heart and dumb of ass almost got the universe erased. Twice.
Yeah.
So... he's not quite himbo enough to qualify.
He's too himbo.
He's so himbo he's kind of a danger to himself and others sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, his previous mortal enemy has basically adopted his son at this point.
I mean, literally the whole plot of the show is that he's suffering from brain damage.
Yeah. The character archetype this belongs to, says Roman, is The, quote, ugly, fat, arrogant, and pervy knight/prince who is just there that the main character has beat up for harassing girls type. I see. So you think that he's like the throwaway character designed to make the main character look good because he's so pathetic, but oops, it turns out he's actually incredibly powerful. That would be an interesting surprise. It's like, haha, I got you. No, you didn't. What? Through a wall you go. He says correct.
Like the grape kid from
Oh, like the grape kid from My Hero Academia? Good God. Oh, I hate that little shit. I want to shoot him out of a cannon into the sun. And the fact that the show's like, that's just another aspect that proves his heroic determination. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's a series of arrests waiting to happen. He's an assault lawsuit just waiting. He's like the 5th strongest human there. The pervy prince. That'd be funny. It's like, oops, he's actually one of the strongest guys there. That has like the potential for like like mid-boss material where it's like, oh, I thought that I was gonna be able to beat him because it seemed like he was he was an easy win. Oops, turns out he's not, and now I have to actually figure things out and get stronger so I can go back and beat him up before he do an evil. Ferb! Ferb is back! And Ferb says, oh my god, Rambo, my baby! Yes! I knew I was gonna make him fat. I think in this case it's okay for his head to be smaller than his body, instead of the other way around, because I think he is perhaps Wordsworth inspired. Yes, actually, I showed Wordsworth to my mom. She loves him. She made a series of very happy sounds when I showed it to her. I was like, look at him. And she was like, oh my goodness, he's got a little tie. And I'm like, yeah, just wait. And then I showed her the one with the scarf and the earmuffs. I'm like, look, he's got little earmuffs. Ferb made them for him. She was like, oh my god, look at him. He's so cute. And I'm like, yeah, Ferb likes to... Yeah, I told my mom about how you like to make Furby-inspired little craft things. And she thinks it's great. Oh, I'm glad. Ferb says, it brings me so much joy that people love him. I do. I think he's really cute. He's so round and huggable. He looks like a happy owl. Oh, I should link that to Jen. Jen loves owls. So if I'm like, look at this boy, he looks like a big fat owl. She'll be overjoyed. Right. Almost done. Almost done with inking, and when we're done with inking, it'll be time to wrap it up because it's 8 o'clock. Oh, his body is actually an owl, so he is technically an owl odd body. Oh, that's cool! I guessed right. I was like, oh, he looks like an owl. He was an owl. Oh my god, this moth baby is so fat. Something like this is what I thought Snom would evolve into, to tell you the truth. Not that I'm disappointed with what it does evolve into, because what it evolves into is extremely cute, but I thought that it was just going to be the fattest, fluffiest thing. It did not, but that's okay. And of course the Snom looks like a little gummy. Actually, I think that it's based on, what is it called? Is it called a jewel caterpillar? I think that's what it's called. It looks like a little gummy. A cute little gummy critter. I could be incorrect, but I think that that's the case. I'm gonna use a bigger brush for this one to do the thick edge of this wing. The prince's personality is, quote, I'm just your prince who rules over you, and even when I do inhuman actions, I'm still your leader you need for having order. For now, that's in my mind, says Roman. I see. So he's a dude who needs to be taken down a peg or two and taught that no, that is not how leadership works. people may need leadership, like society needs leadership, but it doesn't need leadership like that.
No, typically it has the opposite effect.
Yeah, usually that leads to, you know, a series of royal beheadings. Usually involves bringing out the... I almost said trebuchet. That is not what I was thinking of. What is the device that they... Guillotine, thank you. Every once in a while, my brain deletes words, and I'm just sitting here going, I know this word, why can't I get it? Why can't I pull it out of my brain? Curse you. There we go. We got it back. Guillotine. Or guillotine. However you want to say it.
No, it's guillotine.
Oh gosh, who... I remember who, but I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to be mean. But who, like, what was it that that former friend of ours called the guillotine? Because it was not either of those. It was completely wrong.
No, it's guillotine.
Yes, I know, but I know that... I know, I just know the other one is common, but she said something that was neither of those, and I don't remember what it was.
Guillotine.
Guillotine. Yeah, okay, I think that's what she said. I thought maybe she said, like, guillotine.
No,
like, wait.
it was guillotine.
Guillotine.
I actually have to, like, pause and reprogram my mind
to say it properly.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well, no, to say it like that.
Oh. Is that like...
No, I don't, like, guillotine comes, like, just... It's fine. Like,
is that like when you lecture me for saying nuclear wrong? You can't see it, but I'm woobling my lip like a big sad puppy. Just... I had another person, I don't think they're here anymore, but they popped, their name's Poyo, they popped in and they immediately, they asked me two things. They said, one, is my avatar, like a shaman? And I said that I hadn't actually given it too much thought, that it was just supposed to be a fun Halloween costume. It was like kind of witchy. And then they said, okay, and why are we staring at a big butt crack? Because I just had a big, while I was reading about the Mothman, I just had a big picture of his butt just on the screen. It's still in the references. I'm pretty sure I turned it on. He's still there. Where is the booty? There it is. But and the caption says, "See this guy's ass," by the way. It's actually from the Ghost Files. We used to watch some of that. Maybe we should watch some tonight. Are you in the mood for spooks? I say sarcastically. Dezarin says, this might seem weird and off topic, but have you ever taken a Dare quiz? I have not. Is that like finding out what sort of Dare you are? Like Sundare? Or Dare? This is the wrong size pen. There we go. I've not taken one of those. Do you have one that you can recommend, Dezarin? Because if you do, I can take it and tell you what it says. Could have it be a fun end of stream treat. I know I'm not a yandere because I've never contemplated terrible murder. I took one a few months back, learned about one I'd never heard of, and then freaked out mildly about how accurate it seemed to be. Oh, and Roman says BRB. Okay. We'll be done pretty soon, just FYI, my dude. I hope he's back before the stream is over, because I'd feel bad if he just came back to an empty screen. I'd be like, oops, sorry. This particular song is on a lot of Blurred's playlists, and it reminds me of Bee and Puppy Cat. Which I really enjoyed, actually. So I would recommend that show to people who have not seen it yet. Zarin sent me the quiz. Cool. I'll take the quiz and then I'll put it in the Discord. So you can see what kind of weird result I got. Almost done, almost done, almost done, almost done. What? Accidentally hit the button. Oops. Oh, look at the baby. Oh my god. This might be my finest work yet, Mike.
It's definitely up there.
It is definitely something. For sure. I thought I would be tired after the D&D game, and I kinda am, but I'm also, like, really psyched. The game was a lot of fun. You put so much effort into it. You did a fantastic job, Babu.
Thanks.
Yeah. Just for the peeps at home, Mike did so much prep work. The game that we played is a Star Wars style D&D game, and he went so far as to do an opening text crawl and animation of a ship landing on a planet for us. It was so cool. That is a level of, like, prep that is amazing. You're welcome, it's true. You do good work, love. Oh, I'm guessing that was Sophie.
Yes.
I thought so. Just... That's fine. I had a feeling she probably wouldn't pop to the stream, but I did want to let her know that I would be doing it if she did want to. I know that I'm technically finished with what I needed to do, but I wanted to linger a little bit to give Roman some time to come back, since this is his first time here. Retook it, and yep, I got the same result, says Dezarin. I see. So that's the correct quiz. Oh, Ferb says, farewell, I must retreat to my bed with my squishmallows and begin watching my ever-growing queue of videos. Dandare. Not heard of Dandare before. What is a Dandare? Okay. I cannot delay anymore. I'm sorry, Roman. Forgive us. Doop. Let's make this Mothman a little bigger so we can see him properly. There we go. Perch him over here. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by, including all the new people who came.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys had a really good time. I peeked at our list for tomorrow. And you'll never guess who it is. It's the OG cryptid. Bigfoot! So tomorrow we get to make ourselves a Sasquatch. A big old stompy monkey man.
Okay.
Yeah. A Wookiee, if you will. That's basically what it is. Oh, Dazarin has answered my question. A Dandare is essentially really shy, introverted, afraid to talk much, makes you sometimes seem unemotional, but when you're with people you're comfortable with or something comes up that you're into, the floodgates can open. Oh. It's good that you've got peeps you're comfortable with to do that, you know? Save. Alright. So, tomorrow we will draw the Bigfoot, and I will color this little dude. I have to decide if we have a white Mothman, a snow white fluffy Mothman like the crane, or a black shadowy Mothman that comes up out of the darkness to chase your car. Either way, I hope you'll enjoy it when it gets posted. I want to thank you all again for Mikey for keeping me company during the end bit there, and for all of the people in the chat who came to keep me company via text. Don't worry, Dazarin, I will not go Darkstalker style for the Sasquatch. But yes, beneath my video is the link to all my socials, including my Twitter, my comic Monster, if you wanted to read that, and my Patreon, which includes all kinds of fun rewards, such as a monthly art reward, and the very bottom level all the way to the top all get access to the Discord. So if that's something you're interested in, consider taking a peek. But yes, thank you all again. I hope you had fun. I hope you have a great night. Bye, everybody!
Bye.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers over on Patreon, and give a special shout out to Jack Fox, Old Monster, Dazarin, and Revolution72. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I'd also like to give a big thank you to everyone else watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know with a like and a comment. Be sure to have a look at the other videos on my channel, and subscribe so you never miss a new one. Links to my Patreon, Twitch, and all my other socials are in the description below the video. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye bye!